Greetings, my friends. I hope you're all doing well. I also hope that the sound of this stream is not going to make it too difficult to hear my voice, but the Spirit was moving me to speak. I was sitting here working on my laptop, well, not here, down the road, working on my laptop, and the Spirit moved me to talk about this. And so I'm following it. And I mention this because following the Spirit ties into what I'm about to talk about. This is a pretty place, isn't it? Pretty spot. This used to be a road that we used to drive when I was younger, but now it's all closed up, and now it's just a walking trail. It's a really nice spot. But all right, at the Institute for Hermetic Studies conference, there was a gentleman that spoke. His name was Patrice, I believe it's Maleze. I assume that because he's French. It is spelled M-A-L-E-Z-E. Be kind of funny if it's Malaise, just because of the English word that is pronounced that way. But I assume it's like Maleze. I didn't catch how it was pronounced. But anyway, so he gave a couple excellent presentations. He's a French alchemist. He's a true OG. An incredible wealth of knowledge. Studied with Jean Dubuis and philosophers of nature. And in the second day of his presentation, he was discussing this personality system of G.I. Gurdjieff. A system I'm already familiar with, not as familiar as Patrice, obviously, because I am not an OG. Patrice is an OG. But it is something that I am familiar with. And he was discussing these four centers. The way I learned Gurdjieff's four centers was the instinctive, the motor, the intellectual, and the emotional. But I believe Patrice had slightly different terms for the instinctive and motor. He used like body and something else, I think. But it doesn't matter. It's essentially the same thing. But there was something that really stuck in my mind, and it was more of an offhand comment that he made. I'm going to walk a little bit and hope that the sound of my flip-flops isn't too annoying on this video. And so he mentioned in his presentation, it was really kind of an offhand comment, but he said that whenever he goes over this personality system, people always want to identify with the intellectual personality types. Because in our age, intellect is held as the highest good. It's the biggest deal. It's the top thing to aspire to. And he just made the observation that, people always want to think of themselves as being intellectual center, but also that the power of the intellect is overestimated, and that the emotional, he's made this comment about how the ability to feel and generate emotion is actually the most powerful of the forces. Now, I'm paraphrasing this a little bit, but that's how I received the concept that he got across. And again, this was just an offhand comment in his presentation. This wasn't something that he settled on. But it really stuck in my mind because of how it aligns really with my own life and my own recent observations. And I just wanted to discuss it real quick because I find it very interesting, and I think he is correct. I can say personally that, I want to identify with the intellectual center, but I'm an emotional guy, man, and I'm realizing that more and more, and it's actually very interesting because this was the second time I attended the Institute for Hermetic Studies conference. The last I went 2 years ago, and 2 years ago I didn't really know much of anybody involved really well. I had a couple acquaintances, but I was very much just an outside observer during that one. But just my attendance there, it sparked something shifted inside of me. And I don't want to go into depth about it just because it's personal, but for a little while, immediately after the event, for a month or two after the event, it was like I felt such an overwhelming love for the people around me, my friends and my family, but really just kind of for the world. Yeah, man, it sounds so cheesy, but I did, and it was so potent and so powerful that it was actually kind of difficult for me to function for a month or two. And since then, I got it under control. I'm a man. I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit there staring at my navel and pouring tears down my face. Got it under control, got back to functioning. But it has still been working inside of me ever since. I wonder if you guys, dude, I'm being swarmed with bugs right now. Let me turn around. There were less bugs back this way. But sorry guys, sorry about this. Sorry, I apologize. I'm getting back on track here. So, I'm feeling all of this love that I've gotten under control, but as time has been going on, I've been I'm moving more to the winds of the spirit. Like when things inspire me, I'm really trying to just obey them and just go with them. Not try to analyze, not try to think too deeply about it, not try to break down and compartmentalize and dissect and put into pieces. And those are all the acts of the intellect. To be clear, those are very important. The intellect is extremely important. And nothing about what I am saying, nor do I think anything that Patrice was saying, is meant to imply that the intellect is like negative or not important. It absolutely is. But it shouldn't be given singular importance. And I do believe that in our modern world, we have kind of learned to, it's like we almost distrust emotion, right? And emotion can lead us astray. Look at the world we're in. The intellect can lead us astray too. It's a false dichotomy. Like we look at it, we know that the forces of emotion can trigger us to do stupid things if we're not smart. But the intellect can also lead us down dangerous and stupid roads and foolish roads and harmful roads. Really, if you really think about it, and I say that no pun intended, but if you really think about it, the intellect is not even close to being infallible. And sometimes the emotion will lead you. We can't understand where it's trying to take us in the beginning, but there is like a kind of intelligence to emotion. An intelligence at times, an intelligence in emotion that is more powerful than the intelligence of intelligence. And I know that sounds so funny, but I'm speaking off the cuff, man. If anybody, I have a feeling like somebody's gonna watch this and think and start picking it apart for my philosophical incongruencies. But just chill. I'm just talking off the cuff, and I'm talking about impressions. I can sit down and drill things down in a philosophical sense with the best of them. That's just not what the purpose of this particular discussion is. Let's go check out this water again. It's beautiful. But what I wanted to say is I have been trusting my emotions more and thinking of them differently. In the past, I thought of emotions as just things that popped up in your heart, little foolish notions that popped up and needed to be corralled, needed to be analyzed, and usually just needed to be disregarded, right? Needed to be thrown aside because they can lead you into stupid things. Like falling head over heels in love can lead you to some really, really destructive choices, some really stupid choices. Or, obeying your anger, big one. That's a big one. You get too angry and you just go with your anger. Well, that can take you in a very bad direction as well. And so I personally, and also I grew up in a blue collar family. And my dad was an exceptionally tough guy. You're not supposed to like sit there and just brew in your, oh, that's pretty. To just brew in your emotions, You're supposed to control them. And I do still believe that. Like I still do. It is absolutely essential that a man learns to master his emotions, but not disregard them. And that's what I'm talking about. You can go so far with this that you are no longer harnessing your emotions. You're no longer controlling them. You're just trying to dispel them. And I think that is incredibly foolish. And I say that from personal experience because over the last couple of years, I have been trying to let my love and my emotions move me more and to follow them and to trust them more. And the last 2 years of my life have unfolded into some of the most amazing things, amazing gifts that I am like so grateful for. And they have reinvigorated my excitement for life and my idea that there is this beautiful, mysterious landscape ahead of me that I'm moving into. And it's important to follow these emotions. But I was thinking about this while I was coming to, I had to go a little ways to come to where I am to do this talk. And while I was on it, I started thinking about the negative aspect to this. And what I mean is in the spiritual sphere, right? Whatever you call this, these people call themselves spiritual and are spiritual. It's just this sphere, however you want to phrase it. You have a lot of assholes, man. And you have a lot of fake people. And what I'm talking about are the fake gurus that use spirituality and use your emotions. Like, they tell you, follow your emotions, just follow your heart, man. And these are people that do not have your best interest in mind, right? There are spiritual predators in the world. And I'm thinking predominantly about predators who manipulate and abuse women. you have this all the time, these people that try to put on this face of enlightenment when in reality they're just trying to bang a bunch of spiritual women. And I say those terms kind of like almost in a funny sense, but really there aren't many things that are more degraded and repulsive than using somebody's spirituality against them in a harmful way. I mean, like, really think about that. You're taking the most powerful, beautiful impulse in a human being's heart, and you are twisting it to harm them, to hurt them. Because that's not only going to hurt them in an emotional sense, that's going to give them a negative connotation with spirituality and with God, right? It's going to give them a negative connotation with the quest for God. I really can't think of anything more repulsive or disgusting than that. Now, I'm not really talking, I think there's a lot of people who start out well-meaning in this sphere, and they mean what they say, but then they start to get some fame, they start to get some popularity, they start to attract some followers, and they're human. They're human beings trying to be superhuman. At the core, they're still human. And they have these attractive women that are around them, that are coming to them for answers, that want to be as close to them as possible, and they succumb to temptation. Now, those people, that's a mistake, and that needs to be corrected. But I don't vilify those people. I'm a human being too. We all make mistakes. That's actually a big reason why I speak the way that I speak. This might shock some people, but I'm actually a very eloquent guy. I mean, I'm a writer first and foremost. I have a good vocabulary. When I need to, I can sit down and I can be as eloquent as anybody else. I use the terms that I use and I speak the way that I speak largely because I'm trying to keep myself in check. And I'm trying to keep myself real. And when I'm talking about these highbrow topics, I don't use the language that I use to disrespect them. I use it because I'm trying to keep myself real. And I don't want to find myself getting sucked into that space where I'm trying to portray myself as a guru, because I'm no guru. I'm a seeker just like everyone else. I'm a guy in the trenches, man, with everyone else. Laying the bricks, cleaning out the sewage pipes. Like, I'm with you, and I'm just a dude talking to dudes and just trying to share my own thoughts and wanting to hear your thoughts. Like, yeah, I'm a guy in the trenches with the people of the trenches, which are the best people in my opinion. So that's why I use the language that I use, and that's why it's a conscious thing. I consciously try to keep myself in check. But anyway, so I do not blame those people, and that's not who I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about the people who are actual psychopathic, sociopathic, manipulative spiritual predators, and they're out there. And we need to keep our eyes out for them. And, well, we don't need to. None of you need to do anything. It's your choice. It's your life. But I look for those people, and I like to try to call them out. And I like to try to do this because I feel protective of people who come into the spiritual sphere. It's not right, man. It's not right to abuse people in that way. I mean, it's never right to abuse people in any way. But I find that to be one of the most repugnant forms of the most repugnant form of manipulation that a human being can indulge in. And so while talking about emotions and listening to emotions, like everything else, it's a tightrope. We have to be sensitive to our own souls and our own beings. And you can't flip over too far into the other side where you're just blindly going along with these surges of emotion. I mean, you see that all the time. These women, for some reason, it's these guys who often align themselves with Eastern mystical traditions. And this is not a criticism of the Eastern traditions. I'm just saying, for some reason, these guys seem to latch on to this Eastern philosophical perspectives. And, they drag women in and they say, well, if you're feeling dissatisfied in your marriage, then maybe it's just because you need me to bone you. It sounds absurd, but that is essentially what happens. And you have all of these women who are well-meaning, they're searching for something, they're reaching for something, and they're good women, they're good people. But like all of us, life's hard, man. Life's hard. And someone's giving them the easiest potential answer. And I'm not saying there are times when it is time to leave a relationship, absolutely. I'm not saying, like, never, ever leave a relationship. That's insane. But I'm saying pushing people into that too fast, I see it happen a lot. I see it happen a lot, especially from these fake Eastern mystic gurus. And it's nonsense, man. And it needs to be called out. And it is a danger. That's what I want to say. More than anything. It is a danger if you do start to trust and kind of go with your emotions more. So these things, everything in moderation, man. The middle path is always the best path, right? The path between the extremes. So I felt like it was important to mention that. However, I had been living too far in the intellectual extreme, way too far in the intellectual extreme. And I see a lot of people who are doing the same thing today. And so I just was thinking about what Patrice said, and it was a very interesting observation to me, especially how it aligns with my own life, my own experiences over the past couple of years. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that. I thought it was an interesting and useful insight. This idea that intelligence is actually the primary mover of the human spirit, not intellect. Really flips a lot of things about how we approach life today. Now remember, primary mover, not sole mover. The intellect is in there too. So is the body, right? So is your physical health and your motor instincts. These things all need to be working in unison. But I thought Patrice's observation was very apt. I do think that we have reached a point where a lot of people are so distrusting of their own emotions because of this age of scientism, man. Like, this age of scientism has gone to such an extreme that it has caused us to doubt our own emotions, which are a vital part of our spirit. The things that we want us in a way. Like, these emotions, they are moving us towards things, and these things have like a magnetic attraction. And there's a reason for it. And if we follow our emotions and we explore where they're trying to take us, they can take us into some really powerful and transformative experiences. I've been witnessing this, guys. Again, just as a dude in the trenches with the rest of you, not as a freaking enlightened guru, but just as a dude in the trenches. I've been having such amazing experiences in my life over the last couple of years as I have been trusting this love impulse. Man, I wish I need to come up with another word for that, because I really do not like using this terminology, man. But that's what it is. Like, I can feel it. It's like a magnetic force that is pushing me towards, mostly towards people, largely towards people, and expanding my social circle and really embracing and allowing myself to indulge in the reality of my being. And I am somebody who I really feel a rapport and a resonance and I don't know, like an affection for human beings. Not all. I can sniff out a scumbag faster than anyone. But the good people of this world, man, yeah. And I'm trying to explore that and go with it. And it has made my life so much happier. But not just happier. Like, my life has materially changed for the better as well. It's been great, man. It's just been great. And so I just wanted to share that as you're all moving through your own lives. Maybe it's just something worthwhile to think about. I'm sharing my own experiences, but remember, this is coming from an OG. This is coming from the French alchemist, Patrice Maleze, or Maleze. So this is coming from a true spiritual master, true master of the mind, however you want to phrase it. I'm just adding on some of my own personal observations on top of it. So your feelings are trying to connect you with things in the outside world. And through that, they are a transformative process. And if you can trust it and learn how to walk that tightrope, not go all the way overboard, but to follow that path, follow that trail, you can find yourself in some amazing morphic fields of resonance, to steal a term from Rupert Sheldrake. So that's about it, everybody. Peace out. I got to get back to work. Hope you all have great days.